What's your thoughts on a lot of the AI? I mean, I was just talking with Stability AI the other day, who makes Stable Diffusion, and that was, it's very easy to forget. It was only like 8 weeks ago that program, or that solution kind of came out, and again with DALL-E and all these other ones in animation, like some of these, like by the time this episode comes out, Stable Diffusion will be doing animation as well. It's pretty crazy to see just all these new inventions, especially when with animation. Replace the mirror that's usually a little pocket mirror that's sitting on your desk. You'll have a phone instead that you're just directly talking into and seeing it relayed into your animation viewport. Like, what's your take on it all? Like, has it been something that you've been following, intrigued by, or?
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it lightly. I'm not super plugged in, but from what I've seen, like I played with Midjourney and I've been messing with it as much as I can. I'm super open to new tech becoming tools. Like, I know that it's kind of a hot take to not be like, oh, AI is going to crush our job. To me, it just feels like the same conversation we have every 10, 20 years of.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, just, oh, computers are going to take away, like, animation should be done with a pencil. And then it was motion capture is going to remove the role of artist in animation. Now it's AI is going to take, it's like, it's a tool. Like we have to find ways to utilize it and help us skip the parts we don't really want to focus on so that we can spend our time where it counts. Unfortunately, there is a side of AI art that, people are abusing. They're taking people's images and they're creating other things. And like, there's a whole nother side of it where people are misusing it in ways that it's like, well, I don't know what to do about that side. But as far as the tech itself, I think it's a really cool new thing in the tool belt.
Yeah, like a few of my friends pretty up there in terms of being traditional illustrators, and so some of their names are in the prompts by default. And it's interesting because most of them are actually pro AI. It's just they would love if the work generated in their style would just have a little generated with AI next to it, rather than generated by Mark Simonetti or different ones that then the internet's plagued with all these bits of work that they didn't actually paint themselves. And so I think just it's early technology, so as it grows, I think there'll be more of a process behind it. But obviously right now it's the Wild West, but it's just like the internet or anything else. It takes a while for people to kind of get behind it and make it more mainstream.
Yeah, I actually just used AI for a project like the past 2 days. I was working with a team who they produced music, they needed album art, and they called me to say, hey, like, do we need album art made? Do you know anybody? And I reached out to a couple people and was like, no, on the timeline you need it, I don't have anyone who can deliver this in like 2 days. We don't have time for it. And so I just went to Midjourney and I just generated a bunch of different stuff that I thought would be kind of interesting. And I presented it all to them. I was like, hey, like, here are some options. What do you like? Which direction do we want to go? We kind of picked the zone, and then we actually went and used that as a reference point to create something from scratch. But it was really cool to basically just use the AI as an iteration tool to come up with a bunch of brainstorm stuff. That saves so much time. So I already feel like the benefits are, even with this early tech, like it's already helping, which is really nice.
Yeah, there's a few studios I've spoken to where their art director, like one, I was talking with Allan over at Mars, like Martians, Aliens, Robots, and Zombies. It's a bit of a mouthful, but they're over in Toronto, and he was referring to his art director where it usually take him about a week to paint up some concept work. Now with Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, he's just able to knock out iterations really quickly and kind of dial in what he wants. But like a few of my friends who are really heavy in AI, like that's their take as well. It's for an artist, it's a chance to art direct. It's just really, it's still your creative process. Just you're able to get there a bit faster. And I think of like Photoshop Content Aware and things like that, where it isn't taking your job, it's just taking the annoying steps out of the process to allow you to be more creative rather than anything else. So yeah, and I think it's also something that we've wrestled with a lot is I've been told 1,000 times, like, well, you're not an artist, the computer's doing all the work. So I mean, it's a battle that we're always going to lose. It's not like whenever someone's arguing that like AI isn't art, it's like, well, you're being told when you sketch on a Wacom that that's not art. It's a bunch of pixels. So it's you can't really win this argument with people who have their opinions, I think.
Motion capture is not animation. Like, well, I mean, I'm still going to use it when I need to. So you have your opinions.
You're still posing in goofy poses and capturing yourself on camera prior to that. So like being able to translate you know, a lot of those poses and animation into a computer rather than needing to then go and match it. You know, it's just a different process overall.
Yeah.